to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we're back. It is Saturday afternoon, and once again we find ourselves tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. I am here tonight with Mr. Mark, Mr. Gun Counter Mark. How you
Hello.
doing? Hey, we just got done at a class, right?
Sure did.
I'm feeling a little wore out today. How are you feeling?
Actually, this was, out of all the classes I've helped you with, this is actually one of the better ones, I think.
You know, it was, but still, I don't know. Some days it just hits me. Maybe it's because I'm still getting over my cold, but I just feel a little tired. I'm a little tired, but it was a good class. Stuff went smoothly. But anyhow, we'll get back to that. We haven't seen you for, was it a 1 week, 2 weeks?
1 week.
One week.
I missed last week, but I was here the week before.
That's right. And me and Mr. Tarver tried to crank out an episode last week, and I haven't listened to that episode. I usually listen to them like Monday or Tuesday. I haven't listened to that one yet because I'm afraid to, because I had a cold, and I think I probably sound pretty sorry on there.
Oh.
But what have you done in the last week that's been Second Amendment related?
Yeah.
Nothing?
I sell guns, I guess.
Sell guns. You always are selling guns.
Selling guns.
So do you have any fantastic thoughts from behind the gun counter?
I have one. It involves selling a gun. In fact, it involves the whole process of the background check and all that stuff.
Okay.
So when we submit a background check, the information we give to submit is what the customer puts in.
Right.
So if the customer messes up on one digit on their social security number, even though that section is optional, that could potentially, jeopardize the whole sale,
process, the whole
yeah.
transaction.
So, and this is something that had happened. It's actually a Google review that someone posted on D&B's, D&B Twin Falls anyway, saying that they will no longer shop there because they feel like we violated their Second Amendment right by telling them that we will not release the firearm until we get a proceed.
Really?
Even though there is a 72-hour or like a 3 business day, deal where the on the form that says you can release the firearm within, after so many days. D&B's policy is not to participate in that. It's a liability issue. That's really all it boils down to.
So they were upset because you have a choice, your business has a choice.
Yes.
And because you chose to follow it, they were upset. We're going to keep talking about this, but everyone says they could see the video just fine. So go ahead and while we're talking, pull it up.
I'll pull it up.
We'll pull it up again. So they were upset. So it's a liability thing for you. They don't want to be held responsible for some reason. They had trouble, passing the background check. 72 hours had went by and you hadn't got a no. And D&B doesn't want to be responsible for that if they were to go crazy and they shouldn't have a firearm and they were to give it to them anyway. I totally get that.
Yeah, and I don't blame D&B for doing that. I mean,
I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm actually happy that D&B has that policy in place, to be honest with you, because overall it just makes us look good. So if this gentleman was upset, I mean, I don't know for sure, but if he was upset, he probably knew he was going to have this problem, and he was, sounds to me like he got upset when he didn't get the firearm within the 72 hours. He thought he was going to slip through when he's going to be able to get it, but it sounds like he knew that was coming.
Right. Well, and that goes, I mean, that boils down to exactly what, one of the reasons you get the concealed carry permit.
Sure.
Is we can bypass that background check in Idaho.
Right.
So, I'm sorry you got delayed, but to say that you're never going to shop there again and stuff like that, I think that's a little extreme.
Just a little butt hurt is what it was. So here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy thing. If he was having trouble, and I don't know, maybe it was a wrong name, maybe his name was like someone else's, or maybe it was a wrong number, whatever, like you said. But if they go and they get the permit, the reason why, if they get their Idaho concealed carry permit, the enhanced permit, the reason why that will work as a background check for purchasing a gun, and they don't have to call it in, is because our state check or whatever that we do is actually more stringent than the one that they give you through NICS.
Yes.
The NICS check.
Yeah.
Which, if he was going to have trouble purchasing a gun and he didn't have a permit, he would have had a heck of a time probably getting a permit.
Right.
Which, I don't know. Yeah, he shouldn't have had a firearm anyway. It's from what it sounds like. If I'm guessing, he shouldn't have had a firearm anyway.
I don't know. I mean, it just is. It's really, to put a business down because they don't want to participate in a. I look at it as a loophole, is what I would call it. I mean, it's not, but that's kind of what it is. I wouldn't bash on a business for that if they didn't want to participate in that.
Right.
That's their choice. I mean, you could simply go somewhere else and buy the firearm somewhere else.
You can. You just go somewhere else and take your business elsewhere. Like
Right.
if I go somewhere and they have a sign up that says no guns, and I'm probably going to take my money elsewhere. But unfortunately, in today's day and age, we have the internet, we have social media, and that's the way things.
I mean, but he's basing it. I mean, he's basically doing a Yelp review on something that's really not anything that we did wrong.
I totally I totally understand, and owning Patriot Defense, I go up against that as well. I mean, I'm always scared that someone's going to leave a horrible review or something like that. We're going to kind of break form here, and we'll come back and talk about some stuff. But it's something else that we talked about a little while ago. It's this like new gun, this like I call it gun shaming or firearm shaming or new. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
New to gun shaming deal. So. What it is, for example, I posted what you say online can have pretty harsh effects. Okay, we've just talked about that. So there's a private class I've been doing with a gentleman. I think we've had 2 or 3 classes, and this gentleman started off not shooting before ever, never shot a gun, and he starts with a 40 cal. That's his choice. That's the gun he had. That's the one that he had purchased. He didn't know, whatever. He wanted to start with a 40 cal. So if you're going to pay me to give you a private class, I'm going to show you how to shoot a 40 cal. He's an older gentleman, never done any of this before, starting from scratch. He has problems seeing a little bit, so we discussed some different ways that he could work on that, and we discussed, and I know I go against him all the time, but this is where certain tools come into play. We discussed him getting a red dot, which he did. He got a red dot, and he had it mounted on top of his Glock, as a 40 cal Glock, and he also got a Mantis X and put on the bottom of it, and I was showing him how to dial everything in. And we were really happy in class because he was learning how to work the trigger correctly, and he was learning how to use the red dot, and he was feeling really confident because he started hitting his targets really good and getting nice groups, and it was a huge confidence boost. I was excited. I was happy for the guy. I showed him how to grip the gun numerous times, and he was doing it pretty good, okay? But you aren't going to do it perfect every single time. He wasn't doing anything unsafe, but I snapped a picture of him holding the firearm. I didn't attach a name to it. His thumbs were pretty much in the right spot, but they were a little loose. It wasn't as aggressive. I mean, do you agree? You saw the picture, right?
Yeah.
And I posted this picture on Facebook. It wasn't as aggressive as maybe it could have been. Posted it up there, and all of a sudden, within just minutes, someone comments, "Hey, I like all the toys on this gun. That's fantastic. His thumbs are a mess, though. His thumbs are bad. He's doing it wrong." And I'm just like, chill out, okay? He's a new shooter. I stated he's a new shooter. I mean, he's not doing anything unsafe. He's trying. The grip's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
And then all of a sudden you jump in and you're going to start gun shaming people. But yet we will watch a video over and over again, hundreds of times, where someone almost puts a bullet in their head or laugh because it's funny because someone has a too big of a gun someone hands them to shoot.
Yeah,
it flies out of their
hands. Yeah.
But we can't encourage someone who's trying to learn, who's taking the correct steps and trying to learn. All we can do is shame them and criticize them, and we can't give them anything helpful, anything constructive, when they could have said, "Hey, look, looks great, man. You're doing this great. You're doing this great. I'm glad you're dialing your gun in. Everything looks good. Your thumbs look good, but they're just a little loose. I would have left that up, but I went on there and deleted that guy's comment because you know what? My students, they don't need to see that kind of crap on the page.
There's the thing. There's doing it wrong, and then there's doing it like not exactly right.
Right.
And he may not have been doing it exactly right, but he wasn't doing anything wrong.
But he's learning. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he's learning. He's in the learning process.
Right.
So, for example, today in class, great class, by the way. All my classes are great. Today was exceptionally great. Good day. But, you know, people are learning. People are learning. And I know people in class just want to help. They just want to help in the process. And that's what's great in the firearms world. Everybody wants to help. But what I've learned, years ago as an instructor is you can't take someone who is brand new to shooting and you can't say you need to do this, and list off 5 things.
Yeah.
Grip, sight picture, stance, and have everything
They're not gonna remember all
100%
that.
perfect. You're going to overwhelm them.
Overload.
If there's 30 or 20 other people in the class, you're going to overwhelm them. They're nervous already. You're going to overwhelm them. They're not going to do it all right. They're just not going to.
Yeah.
They can be safe, but something's going to give. Maybe their grip's not perfect. Maybe their stance isn't. You're not going to get it all 100% every time.
Yeah, but until they're comfortable shooting that firearm,
exactly,
you can't expect that.
And so I get people in class who just want to help, and they'll come up to me. Well, you know, they need to be doing this. Well, you know, if she would do this. You know, if he would do this. Did you catch the? I appreciate people helping, but damn it, I'm the instructor.
Yeah.
I know I can't. And people try to help, and then when that person's not shooting, everyone gathers around. You need to do this. You need to do that, and they start showing them a bunch of stuff. Okay, I appreciate that, but it's too much. For some people are fine with it.
Yeah.
Some people it's way too much.
If there's a problem, you can't fix all of or say there's several problems.
Right.
You're not going to fix them all at once.
No,
you kind of have to just go as you can. I mean,
yep. And I will say that some people, when they leave class, you're excited because they've mastered the grip. You're excited because they aren't flinching. You're excited because they've learned how to load the magazine by themselves, right?
Well, yeah. The one lady today, she said she hadn't shot at all before.
Right, never.
First time. Her first magazine through that gun
was great.
Better than like some, shooters that have been shooting for a long time.
Right.
I mean, she does not have that flinch.
Yeah.
Which is good because she hasn't developed any bad habits.
Right.
Yet. So.
And she did great. And there was some stuff that she could tighten up, and we work on as the day goes by. So we shoot 7-round drills. And so I say, okay, you did good. Let's fix your thumbs. And I let her shoot a couple rounds, a couple drills, and then I saw that the thumbs were getting good. So, okay, let's tighten up that left hand. Okay, let's work on how much pressure you're putting on, your grip with your hands. Let's try to even that out a little bit. And pretty soon you could see, and you can see this on a lot of shooters, they will start to get dialed in, and they'll start to get tighter and tighter groups and more confident. But if I were to go, okay, well, you're doing this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, and this wrong. You need to fix this, and this. Load that magazine and go. Let me see it. That ain't going to work.
No.
It's not going to work. And don't shame new shooters, especially someone that's trying to do it right and is trying to learn, is dishing out the money for private classes, and then I get excited and I post a picture on Facebook of it, and then someone gets on there and just freaking trashes them.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't YouTube, right?
Right. You don't need to troll people. Yeah. I'm
very careful. In fact, I don't like a lot of class pictures of when people are shooting. I don't like a lot of those pictures going up on Facebook, to be honest with you. And if I do put them up, I've looked at them, gone over them the best I can with a fine-tooth comb, because I know that someone's going to see something and go, oh, that left foot is half a centimeter out of whack, and she's not, they're not standing in the right stance.
Right.
Or if they would lean forward just a little bit more, or that pinky's hanging down too far, or she looks like she might not be closing one of her, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
I'm so careful and paranoid. I have to be, right? I mean, because a lot of these people, most everyone has social media. Everyone's on freaking Facebook. And I post a picture, someone's super proud of it. Oh, look at me, I got a picture. This is me in class.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll tag their friends in it. That's good for me. It's good for business. They're happy. They're excited. They're sharing the shooting experience with everyone. And all of a sudden, some jackwagon jumps in there and says, man, that's the sloppiest damn stance I've ever seen in my life. What good does that do?
Yeah.
What good does that do? Why not say, hey, great, you're doing a great job. You probably should tighten up your stance just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's constructive. Do you?
Right.
I mean,
constructive
do you agree?
criticism. Yeah.
I could go.
You don't
on
need to
and
be
on.
destructive in your criticism.
Yeah, I could go on and on about this. It's really just irked me
Right.
all week. It's anyhow. I just get worked up again a little bit. But I also saw something showed up on, I believe it was Instagram. Okay. It's a guy that I know. Okay. He has never taken a class with me or anything like that. He took his son out, and he said his son is in high school, and his son wanted to shoot a man's gun. So he got out, I guess what he considers a man's gun is a 1911 chambered M45. And I think it was, I don't know if it was a Kimber or what it was, but it was a man's gun, right? So They went out to this field. They found this metal bucket to shoot at. He handed his son the 45. Okay, there's a picture of it, and I guess I am going to say I'm going to be criticizing this too, but I'm going to criticize this because this was stupidity. This was safety.
Yeah.
Okay. And this guy knew better because he was laughing about it. He hands his son the gun. His son shoots it. Guess what? It was loud. Go figure. It was loud. His son wasn't wearing eye protection. He wasn't wearing ear protection of any kind. And then he laughed. Ha, ha, ha. He shot this. He's not a man. He couldn't handle the sound. It was too much for his little baby ears. And so the next picture, they show him with a sweatshirt, a hoodie wrapped around his ears, tied up around his head, mind you, to cover his ears. He goes, we fixed this so now he can shoot. We had to make do. And I did post on there. I said, come on, Todd, safety equipment, safety, protect eye protection, ear protection. That's hard on your son's ears. I wasn't criticizing the son. I was kind of criticizing the dad for letting him shoot like that and then thinking it was a big funny joke. The guy responded back and says, well, ha, 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 you need to calm down. If it was a self-defense scenario, we're going to have time to jump out there and put our safety glasses and our hearing protection on. And I think I responded back and said, well, if you keep shooting like this, you won't hear someone break into your house.
Yeah. Why put yourself through that though?
It's,
why make your son deaf?
Yeah.
And everything else? That's just
understand
makes
these.
No sense whatsoever.
I don't understand these people that go out and they shoot without safety gear on. Come on. I spent a lot of time in the duck blind. Now, I go out and I go hunting, and do I wear safety gear when I'm hunting as far as eyes and ears? No, I don't. Okay. Some people do, and that's great. But I'm not sitting there when I'm hunting. I'm not sitting there shooting round after. I'm not shooting 100 rounds when I go hunting.
Yeah.
The way I hunt, and as crappy of a hunter as I am, I'm lucky if I get one shot. Okay. And when I do, my adrenaline's pumped so high, I probably don't even really notice it. And so it is what it is at that point.
I mean, when I shot my elk, I didn't notice it at all. I didn't hear any ringing.
Right.
I did when I was trying to finish it off because that elk was stubborn.
No.
It took 5 shots to finish the thing off.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah. But anyway, but the initial shot from my rifle, I didn't hear.
But if you know you're going to go to a range, especially, just anywhere, just a range, and you're going to shoot 100 rounds,
yeah,
you should probably be wearing some Air Pro. Come on.
That's a no-brainer. And I mean, by that, I mean, you don't need to think about it. Not that you shouldn't have a brain.
Right. And teach your kids well, man. I mean, come on. Those are the pictures I don't like. And the people that are doing, and I've talked about it before, the people that are doing stuff to their girlfriend, their wife, their whatever. Here, shoot this big gun. Ha ha. We're all gonna get a laugh. We're gonna put
flying back and smacks you in the head.
Yeah, we're gonna put a video on on Facebook, that kind of thing.
Right.
That's absolutely ridiculous. But just one of my big pet peeves. So we've almost got a 20-minute rant out of all that, but it just irritates me. Don't shame a new shooter. Come on.
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
They do.
So, and I tell people that a lot at the gun counter.
Right.
Somebody will come up and they'll say, look, I don't know much about guns. I've never bought one before, and I won't put them into something I don't think that they really need to be in. I'm not going to put them into a, Springfield 1911 if I think they don't really need it.
Right.
If they're going to be good with a Ruger Security 9, then that's,
Sure.
I'm going to show them all the options, but when they don't know the difference between striker fire, double action, single action, they don't know what any of that means. That's when, you have to walk them through it, because everybody's got to start somewhere. I mean,
they do.
So
they do. And fancy lingo and stuff like that. Yeah. They don't know any of that. They have to learn it.
If you explain it to them, then it makes their decision maybe a little easier.
But if you make someone feel stupid, are they going to come back and buy a gun? Are they even going to pick up a gun? Are they going to come
Probably
see you
not.
for training? Or are they going to go shooting? They're going to feel intimidated.
Right.
And like they don't know anything. Like no one is helping them.
Right.
And so they're just going to move on.
I mean, it's like giving a 6-year-old a 270 as the first rifle they shoot.
Right. Not a good idea.
That's where the term gun shy comes from. They're not going to want to shoot ever again. That's just the plain and simple of it.
So, what did we see? You had some interesting guns, or at least one interesting gun on your end of the table today.
Yeah, there was a Stoger. Stoger made it, but it was a Luger, like it, functioned everything like one of the old German Lugers. It was a 22, but
it was kind of cool looking. I mean, she just said she had a Luger, and I was like, and I saw it come out, and I'm like, we need to take a look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a couple people bring some really old guns. It looks like they dug out of, or looks like they snuck out of Grandpa's closet.
The gun itself looked like it would function. I mean, everything functioned on the, but the magazine just you couldn't even get past the second round.
Right.
It wouldn't load. Like it wouldn't accept the ammo. And I checked it. It said 22 long rifle. So,
hey, whatever.
That's just weird.
Yeah. I always tell, I think I said it in class, we err on the side of safety, of being safe in the class. And if I don't know the firearm, and if it from the get-go it shows it's going to have any signs of trouble, guess who's digging in their bag and pulling that other handgun?
You're not shooting that gun.
So what did they start shooting? They shot your little Taurus.
They shot the Taurus.
The little champ.
The TX-22.
That
thing just runs, man.
And we haven't cleaned it. We're still doing our test.
Yeah. So we had 200 rounds through it today. That's today. I mean,
so total, it's had about 500, 400
easily, probably 500.
And it's a 22 long rifle handgun, right? Made by Taurus. Yep. And what's the name? Taurus what? The
TX-22.
TX-22, and it's fired all different kinds of 22 ammo. Yep. And it has not had a problem at all. It hasn't jammed, hasn't failed to function. It hasn't had problems ejecting a shell. I mean, absolutely nothing. I guarantee you, in our class, the 22s that we see come through the class, most of them can't get past round 20 without not ejecting or failing to feed or cycling.
Well, so two gals used it today because they both had issues.
Oh, it was being used continually.
Yeah, so it was like, but the one gal, it was right before the bullseye competition. She come up and she asked me what it was, and she actually was typing it in her phone because she liked it.
Was she looking it up?
Yeah, she really liked it. I mean, she wants to get one.
Oh, cool.
I told her, hey, come talk to me. They're this much money. She seemed really interested. She was shooting really well with it too. In fact, if she would have just slowed down a little bit, she could have shot, same holes. But she wasn't too far away, but I mean, she was just shooting really well. She manipulate the slide, everything really well.
It's a beautiful handgun.
Oh yeah. She said it was a little big for her because she was kind of smaller frame, but she loved shooting it. She said it's so smooth you don't even know you're shooting it.
Yeah, it's a fun little handgun to shoot. So we also had, what else? Do we have anything else cool in class? I know I used mine. I know we had two Smith & Wesson 380 EZs in class, and they were freaking champions like usual. Mm-hmm. Just run, right? They did a fantastic job. I'm trying to think of any other odd guns that we had. So you had a problem. Go figure. We had a problem with a 1911 today.
Oh yeah,
a 1911
Springfield
variant.
Yeah, it was a 9mm.
It's a 9mm.
But Springfield. I mean, it was I think it was a range officer.
Yeah,
it was a nice gun, but
I think it was a limp wristing problem.
Limp wrist, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Is what I'm pretty sure that was. I don't know. A 45 might have really jumped out of her hand. She actually shot a full 45. I don't think she'd shot some, but she hadn't shot a lot.
Well, and it was a pretty big frame for her, for her size,
for her little hands and everything. Yeah.
So I think maybe that might have been an issue where she couldn't maybe hold on to it like she really needed to.
Right.
So.
Anything else from class today? Trying to think. We had a lot of good shooters. We did the bullseye competition. We had a wonderful.
This was probably one of the best ones I've seen.
I give you a hard time, and it wasn't. I'm not picking on you. I'm not picking. But it's kind of funny because we have three people helping you, me, and Dean. I take one end, you took the other end, and Dean kind of stayed in the middle. And it's really good coverage for 10 people. In fact, I just started using 3 people instead of 2 this year, and I don't know about you. You've done a lot of classes with me. I think it's
so much nicer.
It is so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. In fact, I think I'd have to look it up to know the numbers, but I think the NRA recommends I think it's like 5-1 is what it is. So we're like 3-1, and that is perfect.
Yeah.
That is perfect. So 3 students to 1 instructor. Absolutely perfect.
It makes it so much, like, it takes so much weight off your shoulders.
Oh my gosh. It's so nice.
Mentally, I'm not drained at the end of the day.
Stuff moves a little quicker.
Yeah.
It's so much. And it's nice because you can actually stand there. And unless you need to approach someone and help them, you can stand like right behind them, and you can see all 3 of them at the same. It's absolutely fantastic.
So I know where you were going to go with this, though.
Where?
You were going to say all the bullseyes were from your end of
all the bullseyes were from my end of the table. And you guys thought you were being sly. I don't know about you. Dean thought he was being super sly because that lady came in with her husband, and it was just no problem. It's kind of I won't say it's a game we play, but this lady came in and she'd never shot before, and Dean's like, when I was assigning lanes, Dean knew which end of the lane, and he goes, over there. He needs 2 people over there. Go over there.
Actually, I was standing next to Dean, and they said they requested to be down there.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so he sent them down to you.
Probably because
they wanted to be together. So
yeah, I just thought that was funny. I looked at Dean and I was like, no, I have no problem with new shooters whatsoever. It's my class. If they're brand new and we don't quite know what's going to happen with them, they should probably be.
Were those the ones from Legal Heat?
They were from Legal Heat.
Okay.
Those 2, we got our wires crossed. I think they were supposed to show up tomorrow, but they showed up today. And what happened is there was a lot going on. I was getting a lot of text messages, a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls. It's a weekend that I did my race, and when I got back to my phone, I was like, it was just lit up. Dude, my phone was had blown up, and I'm trying to schedule stuff, and I'm sending people, and I probably sent them the wrong info.
Right,
is what I'm thinking happened. But it was funny though because we had 3 bullseyes, right? 3 or 4.
I think 4.
And they were all
in that area.
They were all on my end. It was freaking fantastic. We get to your end and people are missing the paper.
No, they didn't even hit the paper.
They were missing the target.
And the one guy, I mean, he hit the paper once, but this first shot, I have no idea where it went.
Yeah.
And that's the one I would have picked to probably been one of the better ones on my end.
We were talking about that though. So what did we see the most today? Fatigue, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was a lot. I mean, you could see it. And I've seen it before in other classes, but today you could totally pick out the ones that were getting tired today.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was,
and I don't know why it was getting so bad. I wonder if it's because it was so nice outside and people were just like, come on, let's get this done.
Right.
Let's go. But you could see the fatigue set in, especially when we did the bullseye competition, because there's people that should have probably shot tighter groups. And they just kind of, I mean, you could see the shots, but they were way open. I mean, they just weren't as tight as what they had been shooting all day. Mm-hmm. And, when we do the bullseye part of it, they got 2 rounds that they shoot. And we unless someone's brand new, we kind of pull back and let them load and fire and see if they can put everything together. As an instructor, I like to see, are they going to do what I said? Or
it kind of gives you that, not necessarily one-on-one, but you get to see people individually. Yeah. And it puts the pressure on them because everybody's watching them. But if they can get everything, like you said, put it all together. Yeah. So. And some people do really well, and some people. They just, I think it's more trigger time. They just need more trigger time.
Oh, always trigger time, muscle memory, more rounds down range. It never hurts a thing at all. So I'm going to throw this out there real quick. By the way, we fired up Facebook Live video again. I don't know what's going on. I think people can actually see us right now. I think it's working. But we get a black screen on my end, okay? So we can't see comments. We can't even. It doesn't even look like it is Facebook Living us at all. So you guys complained when we pulled it down. We didn't think it was working. Obviously it is. So I'm leaving it up till the end of the show. And it is what it is at this point, right?
Black screen is black screen.
I can't see you folks, so I can't see.
You can comment, but we're not gonna
respond because we don't know what you're saying. And we're too lazy to look at our phones.
We can make
obviously.
up stuff.
We can make up stuff. That's right. Oh, look at that. Morgan says that I'm a fantastic instructor and that I should charge more. I like that. Peter says...
Were you reading that?
Never mind. Okay. Let's see. What else we got? What else we got going on here?
I want to give a shout out, and it's he's not going to hear it, obviously, because...
A shout out. Who we shouting out to?
No, it's because of that shooting in in South Carolina or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was South Carolina. I got lazy and didn't print off any news stories.
That kid, I mean, he's not going to hear it. He lost his life from it, but he saved a lot more lives.
And they are burying him with full military honors, I believe.
They should.
Because he was a cadet.
Yeah.
He was ROTC cadet,
Mm-hmm.
and he saw what was happening, and he saved a lot of people's lives by tackling the shooter, even though he lost his. Yeah. So he did right. He fought back like you should. I mean, I'm not saying Peter says we're good to keep going. So, okay, I'm not saying that you should hunt down the shooter. Okay, I'm not encouraging that. But if you have the opportunity and you want to do something about it, and the opportunity is there, do it.
Yeah.
Right. Do it. Fight if you have to fight. If you can fight, fight.
If you know
if the opportunity,
if you know the end is
there,
near, are you just gonna go down? Or are you gonna go down in a blaze of glory?
Yeah, go down with a fight, not go down without a fight.
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about.
As long as you have air in your lungs, you're still in the fight.
There you go.
So
yeah, kudos to him. I will point out though that was in San Diego that there was that other mosque shooting, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Funny thing on that. Let me tell you how this played out to a certain extent, at least how I understand it played out. So probably there's a little more in there, but someone picked up a gun and actually threw a firearm at this, or threw something at the shooter. Made the shooter run away. Okay, wow. Attacked the guy. Made the guy run away. And from what I hear, the guy actually went to his car and actually called the police on himself.
Wow.
So
I heard that he
was chased a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but
yeah.
He was not on the radar whatsoever.
Right. Well, none of them are.
They were saying that this is, but they said, they say none of them are, but then they kind of pick through, small little things. But this guy, they had nothing on this guy. I mean, not a single iota of any of this is going to happen. So, I mean, you think you know someone, I guess. But...
yeah, I'm looking around at the people in my... Never mind. So, anyhow, be prepared. Fight back. There's, carry a firearm wherever you legally can. Yeah. You never know when something's going to happen, right?
So, obviously, I went and saw the new Marvel movie, The Endgame.
Uh-huh. I'm not going to go.
Well, it was a zoo. I mean, it's a mad zoo.
Superhero movies.
But I was not about to go in there without my firearm.
Right.
Because if I'm going to be stuck in a theater that's basically a target-rich environment for a psycho.
For 3 hours?
Yeah.
Get out of my way. I got to pee.
Right. I'm not going in there. Yeah.
I want at the front of this line.
I'm sorry if people are uncomfortable with that, but I'm not going to put myself in that environment without being ready.
Mark went into the bathroom. I want that urinal, and you're going to give it to me.
I don't care if you're done.
Oh, man. So was it a good movie?
It went down pretty much like I thought it would.
Okay.
It's not I couldn't pick out all the parts of it, but that's about how I thought it would end up.
I'll be honest with you. I would watch that movie and it'd be 100% meaningless to me. I would. Right.
Well, I'm a comic book nerd, so
and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not my. It's definitely not my thing.
Not your cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea. So there was a story about a lady in Nevada. Okay, she had been at this party. I don't know if it was a bar or what, but she'd been at this party and she was leaving. Okay, she'd been out. She was leaving. She was walking home and she was attacked by a guy. She was attacked by someone. And she had a firearm with her, and she drew she tried to get raped, I guess, or something. But she drew the firearm and she shot this guy and stopped the attack on herself. Law enforcement came and they cleared her, even though she had come out that she actually had been drinking a little bit before she before she had to use her firearm. She was drinking and she was carrying a firearm. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what Nevada's laws say about that. I know in Idaho that is a no-go. But I would imagine there's a lot more into that, involved with that than what we understand. I mean,
well,
I don't know how it's. Go ahead.
Didn't she try to like do CPR afterwards and stuff though?
She did. So what I want to get at is she'd been drinking. I don't know that she was drunk. I don't know what their limit is down there for carrying a firearm and having alcohol in your system. So they cleared her on that, which they probably should have because she was being attacked and she saved herself. But then after she shot this guy, she went over and started administering first aid to him, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how I feel about that. A long time ago when I first started this whole gun thing, or not the class, but just getting into firearms years and years and years ago, people said to do that. It looks good to do that. It looks like you're carrying, like, you know what I'm saying? And now I've come to change my mind on that. And I wanted to pick your brain. So I look at it as, well, tell me what you think, and I'll tell you what I think about giving someone first aid. You shot them in the house, on your street, or whatever.
I will tell you that I'm not law enforcement, but I know if law enforcement, if they do have a shooting situation, they will handcuff the individual after being shot. I'm sure they probably try to administer some kind of first aid or something, but in the heat of the moment, if I'm trying to stop the threat, that's my sole goal.
Right.
Much. That's my one goal. If I'm defending myself, I'm going to stop the threat.
Sure.
What happens afterwards, I really can't speak of because I've never been in that situation.
Okay.
I would say I don't think I'm a heartless individual, but at the same time, they got what was coming. If that's the case. I mean, I'm not actively going out there looking for someone to get theirs.
Right.
If it happens to me and I need to defend myself, then they had it coming.
So there's a lot of things to think about. Okay. So Dean, he's not here tonight. Dean couldn't make it, and I'm getting this as an object lesson for all our live Facebook viewers, even though I can't see you, but I guess you're still out there. So Dean
Mystical
is,
Facebook
Dean is, I don't know, he's not a nurse. I don't know if he's a physician's assistant. He'll correct me if he even listens to this anymore, but he's in the medical world, okay? We're going to call him like a doctor. Dean, the junior doctor.
There you go.
Oh, I doubt he'll hate that. But
oh, yeah.
He equated it to this, okay? When you shoot someone, the reason why they fall over is you're causing them to lose blood pressure, right?
Yeah.
So you look at this jar right here as a person. You put a hole in this jar. You shoot someone, and they're going to bleed out. When their blood pressure lowers, they're going to fall over. When they fall over, their blood pressure, just because of the way they're laying, can build back up again for a little while. So they could be like this. You shoot them, they fall over, you think they're dead, give them a few minutes, and all of a sudden they jump back up again because that blood pressure has built back up again and they are ready to rumble once again. Mm-hmm. You shoot someone, you run up to them, you're going to offer first aid to them, you think they're dead or you think they're dying or whatever, they're not moving, they're not responding. Then all of a sudden they come to and you're over them. Guess what? You're close to them. They can grab you. They can grab another firearm, a knife if they have one. They can take your firearm. Yeah. I mean, you name it. And numerous times when people have been shot and they've fallen over, they've jumped back up again, and it's like they've never even been touched by anything.
Honestly, that's a lot of the reason why they
cuff them.
The police cuff them. Yeah, that way they can't.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you got to think about this too. You got to think about that if your family's with you, if it's in your house, I mean, you got a family to think about, right?
Yeah.
You go down, you get hurt, then who's going to be there to protect your family?
Right.
I say they broke into my house, they've attacked me in the parking lot, whatever it might be. If I've shot them and they are laying there bleeding out, I'm going to stand there and I'm going to hold my firearm on them until law enforcement gets there, and then I will abide to what law enforcement would like me to do at that point.
And honestly, there's certain training scenarios that I've been able to do that were actually very beneficial in that respect. That the first time I went through this scenario, and this is like playing out on the screen in front of you, and you get this little gun that shoots a laser, but it targets like where you would hit.
Right.
And this is like as if this situation was playing out in front of you. Really cool technology. But so the very first scenario I got put in, I fired at the individual that was attacking, and I thought, okay, well, end of scenario, right? So I just took the gun down.
He jumped back up, didn't he?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding you. That's the very first thing they throw at you in this whole thing. And you learn right away to keep your gun on that target the whole time.
Right.
Because you don't know what's going to happen.
And so here's the thing, and it is actually, I've thought about this before, but it's been a while. And so I have a big problem a lot of time with new shooters. They have an issue of follow through. Follow through is following through the shot, is looking through the shot, holding your stance, holding everything through the shot. Mm-hmm. So that would be a way to encourage follow through, right? You're going to equate it to defending yourself. You shoot someone, he goes down. Do you immediately want to drop your gun and look over him and not be ready? You may need to, as Peter just messaged me, because Peter's learned that I can't see Facebook Live, so he is going to text message me all his comments, which is awesome. He said, zombie rules, double tap.
There you go.
Okay. So if you're going to put one hole in him, you're going to put two holes in him.
Okay, not to mention, and I'm not tactical tube socks, but I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to be looking around, after I fired and stuff.
Right.
But there could be other threats as well. So do you really want to bring your gun down?
Right.
So,
keep it out, keep it ready, keep it on target if you have to. At the very least, keep it ready. And for me, to be honest with you, I'm not going to reholster my firearm till police are on the scene. I mean, I'm gonna hold it out, keep it out there for my protection. If law enforcement's called, hopefully they have my description. If they come and they don't know who I am and they're aiming they're yelling at me, put your gun down, I'm going to put it down. I'm going to drop. Actually, I'm going to drop it. If they say drop it, I'm dropping the damn thing.
Absolutely.
I'm doing exactly what they tell me to, and we're going to let them figure out through interviews and the data that they collect what exactly happened. Hopefully, witnesses, that kind of thing. But if I'm treated like a criminal from the get-go, I'm okay with that. Because they don't know. Right. They may put me in cuffs. They may put me in the back of the car. They may take me to jail. But you know what? They're going to do so, err on the side of public safety. Yeah. Right? I mean, they don't know.
Can you really expect them not to? I mean, I wouldn't. I wouldn't expect them not to do that. I would fully expect them to do that. Not just for public safety, for their own safety.
Well, exactly.
Everything. I mean, they got to go home too.
Hey, we talk about this in class, and I if you are involved in a shooting, you know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen, and you're going to I understand that that's going to be part of it. That's why I carry a gun to defend myself if I have to, but that's why I'm going to avoid using my firearm if I absolutely can. It's a tool of last resort. I do not want to use it if I don't have to, right? I'm going to use my situational awareness. I'm going to make good choices. I'm not going to park out in the back 40 at Walmart at 11 o'clock at night.
De-escescalate things.
Things. Or my big deal is de-escalate or totally avoid. Totally avoid if I possibly can. If there's some creepy group of people hanging around my vehicle and I'm leaving the store, I'm probably just going to wait till they disband, okay? I'm going to wait for them to leave. Nothing's so important that I have to use my gun. I want to avoid that if I possibly can. Yeah. I was telling a lot of people, and I've actually the last two classes, so I've been real busy. I had a class last night, a class today, and I'll have a class again tomorrow. Busy, same as last weekend. Although I'm feeling a little bit better, my cold's gone away, so I'm a little more clear-headed. But the big topic of conversation this weekend has been, I just lost it. About someone wanted to say, are you going to talk about what it's like if you have to use your firearm and stuff people don't think about? And I do talk about that stuff. I talk about it. I talk about the different physiological and psychological things that you may go through, that you may demonstrate. And I've never had to shoot someone.
Very much so, like after the fact.
Yeah, I've never had to shoot someone, okay? I don't ever want to have to shoot someone. The gun is there if I need it. There was a situation, and I've gone over it before, but where I was with my daughter where I had to draw my firearm. Luckily, I didn't even have to aim it, but drawing it was enough. I drew my firearm. The situation de-escalated. The threats left, and I was able to get into my vehicle, and I was able to drive out this gravel road. I was on a country road out to the main road. I drove for a mile or two, and then I had to stop. I had to stop and pull over. Why did I have to stop and pull over? Because I was shaking so bad, I could barely drive. I wasn't thinking correctly. I didn't feel like I could make the proper decisions and react in time while I was driving home. The threat was gone, but I was having that adrenaline dump, and I had to sit there for a while. And I'm not kidding you. I could go like this, and my hands were just quivering. And it took me a few minutes to kind of regain my composure and go home.
Right.
And if I sit down, and it was so real that if I sit down and I retell that story, I don't know if I've told it to you before or not, but I start to shake again.
Yeah.
I'll start to shake, and I can feel that, and it's the craziest thing ever. It's like I'm reliving it almost. Not quite to the extent, but I mean, I start to get amped up. I can feel my adrenaline, and it was a crazy, intense moment. So
granted, this is like in wartime, but they talked to some World War II vets.
Right.
Excuse me. They talked to World War II vets, and they talked to the guys that were on the ground, and they talked to the pilots that were in the air. Well, a lot of the pilots in the air had way more kills than the guys on the ground.
Right.
And they had no post-traumatic stress. They had none of that stuff involved with it.
This is for Peter. Sorry.
Right. So the reason being is because they're up in the air. They're shooting at targets on the ground. They don't see faces. They don't see anything.
They're not looking at someone through a scope. It's not up close and personal.
Yeah.
On the other end of the barrel.
The guys on the ground, however, totally different scenario. They'd have nightmares. They'd have all kinds of problems.
Right.
Solely based on that they're looking at the individual when they shoot them.
Right.
So yeah, it does play a huge effect on your mind, and I mean that image is going to be burned in your memory forever.
And if that happens to you and you experience that, there is nothing wrong with you. You are human. It's what happens, and I'm okay. I think if I had pulled the trigger, it might have been 100% different. Okay.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It would have been as worse. And you know what? You may need to go get some help, talk to a counselor, talk to your pastor, talk to your bishop, whatever it may be. You need to talk to someone, right? I mean, that's the way I see it. You're going to be different. You're going to feel different. You're going to have to deal with stuff that might show up weeks and months later.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, it just happens. So yeah, I guess that was a long answer. That was a long route to the. We do talk about that stuff to a certain extent in class, because I think people need to be aware. It's not just a game. You're not just carrying a gun to carry a gun, and if you use it, no big deal. I shot that guy because he was trying to attack me, and I went home. That's not the way. It's not
the Old West anymore.
Yeah, that's not the way. It's not the way it works. So I wouldn't even touch that, dude. I don't know what's going on with that. They can obviously still see us because Peter just commented that I picked up the knife again. Yeah, so
I just hoping there was comments on there.
There might be afterwards. You can probably find them on your phone, actually. But so yeah, I try to touch on a little bit of everything in my class. But what else do I want to talk about? What am I missing, man? I'm missing something, right?
You're getting me tired just looking at you.
So we have a class coming up at the end of the month, right? A women's class. We've got one person signed up for it. It's still rough because kids are still in school. Kids are in school. When we set that up, I didn't even think about that.
The school thing. Yeah.
Kids are still in school, and I'm a moron for choosing that date. But we've got one person signed up, and that's fine. We're going to have a great class.
Get the word out there. If you know any ladies that are looking to take classes, anybody listening to this that's in the Twin Falls, Magic Valley area.
You could drive down from New York as far as I'm concerned.
You could fly in from Wyoming.
Fly in. Ooh,
we had
I've
that
had
gal.
some people fly
Yep.
in on their personal plane.
Yes.
They flew down from
We
Wyoming
had
to
someone
take a
last year
class
do
last
that.
year. It's fantastic.
But if you know any ladies looking to, improve their shooting or if they're worried about carrying concealed or anything like that, this class is for them. So
Yeah.
put the word out there.
I'm going to throw this out there too. It's not very often. I mean, besides the concealed carry permit classes, which I schedule for the enhanced permit, I do schedule those. Correct. And besides the ladies class, which I try to schedule, and occasionally some classes for anyone, what else I try to schedule. Most of my classes are like this. You come to me, and I want to say they're private classes because they are private. They're going to be private for you or the 4 or 5, 6 people that you want to sign up with you. But I want to call them their customized classes. That's what I want to get after. They are customized classes. So I work a day job. Mark, you help me with classes. You work a day job too. This isn't, this is like the side hustle, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really hard for me to grab a Saturday or a Friday evening and say, this night I'm going to do this. I'm going to create this class. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to open it up. People are going to sign up. Around here, that does not work very well. There's not very many classes like that other than the permit class. You've seen that, right, Mark?
Yeah.
But I've been getting a lot of calls for private lessons, private classes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to fix this on my website. I'm going to call those customized classes. What I mean by that is you call me and say, I want to take this class by myself, or I've got 6 of my friends. We want to do this. We want to learn how to draw and shoot. We want to learn how to do this. We want to create a class or take a class from you. I'm going to put something together. I'm going to say, this is what we're going to do in class. Is that what you want? If that's what it is, we're going to pick a date and bam, we're going to have a class. Yeah. Customized classes. I honestly think that's going to work out better.
You're gearing it around what they want.
And what you want.
Not what you want them to know. It's what they want to know.
Because what I can do is I can set up a class, hope people sign up for it, and all of a sudden I'm not doing anything that Friday evening or that Saturday because I've set off that time slot for that class. Right. No one signs up, and it's wasted. Yeah. I can't set up personal or private classes or customized classes for that time slot because I lose time. And if you want a class, get a hold of me. We will create something. I will create something for you, and we'll move forward like that. I think that's going to be the best way. Mm-hmm. So if you've got a hold of me, if you contacted me about other advanced style classes past the permit class, I'm going to try to get a hold of you and let you know and talk to you about it. But we're just going to pick a date. We're going to create a class, and we're going to move on because I think that's going to be the best way to proceed with this.
Yeah. Another thing, if you know anybody looking for any of those classes, have them get a hold of Todd at Patriot Defense 13 at yahoo.com. If you want to check into some of the concealed classes or something that they're scheduled, go to the patriotdefense13.com, and there's a calendar on there. Todd will try and list those out as far out as he's going to make them.
And you can always swing by, if you're in the area, you can always swing by D&B Supply and you can chat with Mark. He's like our guy on the podcast that is actually out in public more than me, right?
Yeah, I'm in public.
I get up in the wee hours of the morning and I work through dark, and then I go home and you can catch me running sometimes. But other than that, I'm here at my house. You can go say hi to Mark. You can pick up a business card over there, whatever you want. Go buy a High Point, something.
Dan will be happy to help you. No. And then if you want to leave a message or comment on anything regarding the podcast, you can do it with the email address or call the podcast hotline is 1208-696-4397. We're always open to questions, comments, gripes, jokes. If you got any good jokes, into that stuff,
You can even get a hold of me. You can call me, or I'm better with text message. I never thought I'd say that, but I'm better with text message.
Yeah, no, that's
my
sad.
direct line. My direct line is 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223. You can get a hold of me directly there. Call me, shoot me a text message. I've had very random people get a hold of me, and it's fun. I like talking to people. I'll chat with you. I may not know who you are, but I'll you call me. We'll talk guns, man. Right?
Yeah.
I had someone call me from Tennessee the other day. Found me on Facebook. Just asked me questions about gun. Figured I was in Idaho and I knew about firearms. Did I tell you about this?
No, but you're in Idaho. So
I was in Idaho. I knew about
instantly
firearms.
qualified.
Figured I was the guy he needed to talk about. And the dude called me and we talked for like 30 minutes about his broken gun. And
Idaho's the patron state of shooting stuff.
there you go. It was fantastic. And I think we have a truck driver listening to us too now. There's a gentleman called me asking about a class. He lives in Utah. He's an over-the-road truck driver. I gave him all our information. He said he'd check out the podcast. So I forgot his name, but if he's listening, thanks for listening. Drive careful. Share it with all your trucker friends, right?
There you go. Spread the word down the road.
Spread the word down the road. Other than that, I think we should be back next weekend, right?
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, I'll be here next weekend. The next weekend I got a race, so
I have no idea. I'm like week to week at this point.
Yeah, I hear you. Me too. So sorry about Facebook Live. We rebooted the computer. We'll try to get it up and working to where we can actually see you. You can see us. We can't see you. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but
yeah, we'd like to see you because we
like the comments. We like the interaction.
Yeah.
So, but until then, have a good work week, and we will see you guys next week.